matter of point A, point B, and you're the point A. And to close the gap, it really starts with you. The only thing that's always been standing between me and my goals is just myself. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm known as Nomads Ink, but my name is Arjet. I'm from the Philippines. I mostly work around New York, California, and the Philippines. Always just learning, letting experiences influence me for the good, better.
So, how did you get into tattooing?
I basically went to school too for arts, and then I was just drawing a lot. I was a teenager, I was kind of rebellious. When I was 18, I lived with my dad, and then my dad was into motorcycles, and he was around people who had a lot of tattoos, people who tattooed. My childhood best friend, kind of like my kuya, my big brother, he basically became like a local legend when it came to tattooing in our hometown. So I kind of just followed his footsteps and became his apprentice.
Hi, Nomads. So, what are some challenges you faced on your way to becoming a successful tattoo artist?
The only thing that's always been standing between me and my goals is just myself. So the challenge is really just becoming a better person, having a vision of that person I have to be in order to live those goals, and then just become that person, have the habits, create the relationships, design the environment I'm in to really propel me towards my goal. Yeah, there's challenges every day. If I were to list them, it just never ends. But the main challenge is really myself, becoming that person who I have to be in order to live my dreams. And it's an everyday mission.
What are like some strategies or practices that help you stay motivated?
For a person like me, I don't rely on motivation because motivation comes and goes. It's more of an emotion. Let's say when I'm feeling depressed, feeling unmotivated, I don't rely on motivation because if I'm not motivated, I'm not gonna do nothing. So I really built good habits. On some days where I don't want to do this, I'm still gonna do it because I created a habit of just, regardless of how I feel, I'm gonna do it. It's really just like the information I take in, I really filter out a lot of the things that don't help me. If I keep accepting all kinds of energies, it just brings me down, like I have to filter it out, good, bad, whatever helps me or not. So I make sure I stay on direction. So it's really less of motivation, more of just habits.
What are some tips you can give to aspiring artists or anyone who wants to pursue their business?
I'd say the number one thing is really, it starts with you, You gotta look at yourself honestly and be like, okay, these are the things that I need to let go. These are the things that are not helping me reach my goals. These are the habits, the relationships, the environment I need to leave. It starts there. It starts in the mind. Are you doing the work that's gonna give you the results you want? You have to start looking at those factors. A matter of point A, point B, and you're the point A. And to close the gap, it really starts with you. My only advice too is it's really learning about mindfulness, because we live in a time where it's pretty easy to get distracted, to feel FOMO. We have social media. You see somebody doing better than you, even though that's not true, because everybody got their own path. I guess another advice is just really stay in your own lane. Don't switch. You're not in a race with nobody but yourself, so you got to stay in your own lane. Learn, explore, and always have the humility and the ability and the willingness to learn, because that's where it starts. A person who thinks they know it all, they leave no space for learning. So it's really about making space for abundance. And when I say abundance, that comes with learning. Mentors are everywhere. It's not just an actual teacher. It could be a life experience. If you're able to look at that L, turn it into a lesson, and then you grow. Everything just kind of compounds and multiplies over time, and then, you just gotta trust the journey. And it's, they say it's not about the destination, it's the journey. It's not about the $1 million, it's about who you become to make that $1 million. Because in the end, it's not really about the money, but really the journey of like how you obtain that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah. All right, guys, Nomadsink, thank you so much for having me again. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook at Nomadsink. You might catch me in your city too, New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Houston. Catch me if you can, Nomadsink. And thank you again for Woodside Motion for having me. All right, peace out.